Hey guys, this is Goku, and on this channel we talk about poker and ideas that can improve your life. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and click the subscribe button because I'll be honored to have you here. Today we're going to jump into another GTO Trainer session. We're playing on the Simple GTO Trainer now, and we're playing a new spot today. We've just finished playing the PLO spot, and you can check these videos. In the previous 4 videos, we played 100 hands of a PLO spot, and now we're going to play a Hold'em spot on a 23 BB stacks, small blind versus big blind, single raise spot. So should be pretty interesting. Let's jump right into it. We're still going to play just 100 hands here, so it should be fun. We're on the small blind. We've got Jack 8 on a 9-7-5. We're gonna continue here, and we see the solver continuing here 75% of the time and checking 25%. Best EV is actually checking, surprisingly. We see another 9 on the turn, and this is a spot where we continue betting or we check. I would probably like to continue betting here a lot. So I'm gonna do just that, and we see the solver continuing 44% of the time, checking 52% of the time, and shoving all in 3% of the time. Unfortunately, we missed completely our hand. There's a 5 on the river, and we have no other choice but to shove it. And we're of course shoving it. The solver is checking 0.19% of the time, so effectively we're shoving here 100% of the time with this line. We see the villain actually calling us with 6-3. It's quite not a great call on the turn. I don't think it is, but well, maybe we can actually, if we click here E, we can see what the villain's line looks like. And the villain's line actually says call on the turn, which is quite surprising, you know? It's very surprising to me. I think it should be a fold here, not a call on the turn with 6-3. I mean, it's a double gut shot after all. Maybe that's why. That's gotta be it. Nonetheless, next time we've got 9-7 off on a King 3-4. I think this is a continuance again, or it's a check 61%, continue 39. Yeah, we need to pay attention to these randomizers and try and maybe play like that. But there's a 4 on the turn. I think we're gonna check it now, as we should 99% of the time, and we get led into for half pot. We fold. Yep. 10-8 on an ace 10-7. I think this is a spot where we can check a lot. It's completely not. We should rather bet 100% on a board like this with our hand. Okay, good to know. Small EV loss, but yeah, from the solver's perspective, we should just continue there always with our hand. Now we've got ace 7 off on a 10-5 queen. Small blind leads to us. I think we mostly call this. Do we raise here? Sometimes. I don't see a lot of value in raising, and neither does the solver. But it does raise 1.6%. to just a min raise. The small blind continues half pot on another 10 on the turn. Now do we call again? Do we fold? Do we shove? Kind of like calling again here, but probably it should also be a fold a decent percent of the time. We're on this 5 a random number, so should we shove it? Do we shove it here 5% of the time? Probably not. Probably not. I think we're just gonna call this. And yeah, the call is the rare play. It's 12% of the time, but yeah, we can see we do shove it 3% of the time, but it should rather be a fold 85% of the time. And on the river, the small blind shoves for 13 BBs. And with our hand, I think probably do a decent amount of calling here, actually. Yeah. Do we fold 18% of the time? Sure. I think we do fold 18% of the time. In fact, we fold 62% of the time and call 38% of the time. So I was rather thinking backwards about this. I was thinking we call 62% of the time and fold 38 or something. So interesting. And as you can see, why we call here so often is because yeah, the small blind will have a lot of hands that we dominate or that we win against, so that's why we call. Cool. 10-8 on an ace 10-6. We know from the previous spot that it's always bet, always continue, so that's good. Another ace on the turn, and we're gonna continue still. And now, surprisingly, we should check 99.5% of the time. It should never be a continuance once this ace falls on the turn. And this is very surprising for me because we have a flush draw on the board, and we have also a straight draw, let's say, a gut shot. Even a double gut shot is possible, so even two gut shots are possible. So it's interesting, actually, why the solver is not betting here at all. Maybe it's to keep the pot small, but you know, we're on 23 big blind stacks, so okay. Nonetheless, we've got 10-6 of diamonds on Jack 3-3. The small blind continues for 1.8. We call this here with 10-6. Do we fold? I think we can fold. Yeah, we should call 82%, fold 9%, raise, min raise 9%. Right. So it's still a big calling percentage. King Jack on a 7-5 queen. I think we're gonna continue here. And the solver thinks so as well. It's a check only 14% of the time. 3 of hearts on the turn. I think we're gonna check here. Solver agrees with this line, 94%. Should be a check. Now the big blind bets half pot. And do we call this? Do we sometimes shove maybe? Or do we fold? Kind of like shoving here. But I think I'm just gonna call. And this should be a call 99% of the time. And do we shove it here? I think we shove it here. Yeah. 99.94%. We just shove it here. And the villain folds. Queen 10 on an 8-6-6 with 2 hearts. Small blind checks to us. I think we bet here 57% of the time. 42 we check. There's a 3 of hearts on the turn. I think we continue betting. The solver agrees. And now there's a 4 of diamonds on the river. Villain checks to us. Do we shove it or do we give up? I think we kind of have to shove it. Or do we give it up? I think you have to shove it. Yeah, it's 67% checking, 33% shoving. So, yeah, not that close as I thought. But the villain folds nonetheless. Villain folds a pair of 8s here, so that's pretty good. It's interesting that it's only 33% shove here. I would assume, yeah, it would almost be 50-50 or more. But it's good to know these numbers and try to adjust for the future. It seems like I'm over shoving here, and I should be just checking more. But I don't see the point of checking here with a queen high, really. Other than just giving up on the hand, because we probably don't beat almost anything, right? Okay, 5-3 on an 8-3-8. We're gonna bet here. Solver agrees. 5 on the turn. We're gonna continue. Solver agrees, and the villain folds. Ace-6 of hearts on a queen 7-8. We're gonna continue, of course. Villain folds, and we do a 14% of checking here, which is understandable. Jack 8-10 with 2 hearts. We've got king queen. We're gonna bet, of course, and we get raised. We get min raised. And if we take a look at here, the solver also quite likes checking here. 60%, 59% of the time. And what should our answer be to the min raise? Should we just call it? Should we raise it? I think we should just call it. And the solver agrees with this line. Now the small blind checks. We have a 7 on the turn. We're gonna check behind. And the solver agrees with this line. And on the 6 of hearts on the river, the small blind checks to us. And what do we do now with our hand? Do we bet half pot here? I think we do. We gotta bet half pot here. We get raised and we fold. But the solver actually prefers just shoving here, 96.6% of the time. So bet half pot is actually a really rare play. It should rather be push all in. But as you can see, this line actually gives us a chance to save some chips in case the villain has it. So that's not that bad. Ace-3 of diamonds on an ace-king-king with 2 hearts. We see the small blind checking to us. So we're gonna bet. And this is actually a check 97% of the time. An obvious check, even though there's a flush draw. Small blind checks to us again on the 6 of hearts. I think we're gonna just continue betting. And again, it should rather be a check. which is surprising to me. You know, these EV differences are very small, but still, it's very interesting for me to see the solver's numbers, because it just gives me something to think about, and yeah, ways to improve my game. 4-3 of diamonds on a 6-deuce queen. I think we're continuing here. We hit some more equity with the 9 of diamonds on the turn. So we're gonna... Is this a spot where we shove? Probably not. It is. Okay. So here we should just ship it 99.5% of the time. Yeah, I guess it makes sense. It gives us the best chance to realize our equity. Or I guess to get him to shove, to fold. Yeah. Cool. 6-5 off on a 9-7-5. Gonna continue to check. Okay. Going to check now. And we should rather bet 70% of the time. And check 30. And on the flop, we are supposed to check 90% of the time with our hand. And here we're gonna check again, because we've got some showdown value. And the villain actually checks behind, and we win with our pair of 5s. So that's nice. Queen 8 on a 5-4 king. We get led into from the small blind. I think we just follow our Queen 8 here. Solver likes to call it 77.5% of the time. And min raise 22% of the time. I think I would lean more towards min raising than calling. But I'm surprised we never fold here. Our Queen 8. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking about, I'm kind of looking at this from the tournament perspective, not from a cash game perspective. I'm just worried about losing chips. I want to preserve chips, but yeah, it makes sense, I guess, that we shouldn't be folding so easily if there's just one overcard to our hand. But anyways, we get 10-5 suited on a 9-6-6, and I think now we call, and that is, on the other hand, a clear fold. Which is surprising, because we got one overcard, we got a back draw flush, got some straight, backdoor straight possibilities. Looks like a much better hand than the previous example, but now it's a clear fold instead of, I mean, compared to the other hand. But okay, solver knows the best. 8-4 of hearts on a king 5 deuce. I think we're going to call this, or maybe this is a spot but we should just shove. I think we should just call here. Yeah, 99.9% of the time. 3 of spades on the turn. Now, do we bet this? Do we check? I think we should be doing some amount of checking, or not. Not really. I think we should be betting here. Okay, it's 50-50. Check or bet half pot. Good to know. And then there's a king on the river. And now we just have to shove. We have no equity. Can we get some hands to fold? Probably. Yeah, we're gonna shove it. Solver agrees. It will give up only 3% of the time here. So that's good to know. That is just a clear shove. I was actually, considering it more to be something like, I don't know, 66 or 70% shove and 30% give up, but it's more clear than that. Ace queen of spades on a 9-6-4. Now we're gonna bet it. We pick up some more equity on the turn with the 3. And now what do we do? Do we shove it like on that previous hand? Maybe do we check shove it? Kind of feel like checking. Yeah. Checking is the right play. And now there's a 5 of hearts on the river, which is a bad card for us. And we're gonna check again. And we get to showdown, where we lose to a pair of 9s. Cool. Ace 9 of spades on a 5-3 deuce. We're gonna continue betting here. As we can see, the solver is checking 9% of the time here. Another deuce on the turn. We're gonna check. You see the solver is doing quite a bit of betting, 35% here. Bet half pot. Big blind bets half pot. Do we call? Do we shove? We just call it. Yeah, 99% of the time. Should just call it. There's a king on the river. We're gonna check it. And we get to showdown where we lose to a pair of 5s and 3s, 2 pairs. Cool. Queen 3 suited on a 5-4 deuce. We're gonna bet it. There's another 5 on the turn. We should continue betting here. The solver actually does a lot of checking here, 62% nearly, and 15% of shoving all in. Now, do we call the... of course we gotta call. It's not really... no real choice. Once the big blind shoves, and unfortunately we lose to a pair of 5s and 4s. We don't hit our straight. Jack 9 off on an 8-4 deuce. Is that a spot where we check behind? Nope, we should rather be betting 82% of the time. Checking 18. Now there's an ace on the turn. The villain leads for half pot. Do we call this? Do we fold? I'll probably fold in a tournament, but I guess it should be a fold. And I was thinking, based on that hand way back, that it should be rather a call. I don't know. This GTO messes with my head, I guess. I hope these calculations are right. For sure they are, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe since it's an ace. Yeah, I guess. Ace jack of diamonds on an ace 5-3. Is that a hand where we check? Nope. It's a bet 99.96% of the time. Okay. Ace 5 off on a king 8 deuce. Now we bet. Now we check. 40%, bet 60. We get raised and we call. Calls the right play. We see the solver folding 40% here, which is a lot. 8 of diamonds on the turn. I'm gonna check. A villain checks behind. 6 of hearts on the river. It's probably a good card to bluff it. And do we pull the trigger? How often do we pull the trigger? I think not that often, since we have pretty good equity with the ace. I think we're gonna check it. Yeah, it should be a check 99% of the time. Now, do we call a shove? That's a good question. Maybe how often do we call a shove is a better question. I think not that often. 30% of the time. Nope, we actually never call a shove here. Should be folding 99.8% of the time. Okay, fair enough. 6-5 of diamonds on an ace-8 deuce. We're gonna bet and the villain folds. Ace-6 off on a queen-8 queen. That's probably more checking. 56% checking. And we're obviously playing check call. Maybe that's a min raise with our hand. Is that a min raise? 12% of the time. Cool. 86 we should just call and we get min raised. Our min raise gets min raised. How do we call or do we fold? Kind of think we're folding here. Yeah. And he was posturing as well, so that's some weird place. Cool, we've played our 25 hands. Let's take a look here. So we've lost 2.74 BBs of EV loss. Or, yeah, I think that's the correct nomenclature. But if we take a look at these hands, we actually just had this one bigger error where we called where it was supposed to be a fold. Yeah, on this ace. And if we take a look at the frequencies, we bet too much and we don't check or fold enough. Mainly it's about checking. So we should check more, fold a little bit more, and bet or raise less. Cool. Was a nice session. Yeah. Overall EV per 100 hands minus 11. So much better than we did at PLO. But yeah, we'll see how the rest of this goes. We're gonna play 100 hands, so there's 3 more sessions to go. Hopefully we'll do great. And I'd like to thank you for staying this long. Please leave a comment below, just write GTO or ask any question you might have. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate you being here, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. You want to learn how to play poker? Great. You have little or no experience playing poker? No problem. Do you want to learn the fundamentals, the most basic principles that allow you to easily win money when playing with casual players? That's perfect, because this course was created specifically for people like you. My name is Mateusz. I've played over 3 million hands of No Limit Texas Hold'em, and I'd like to teach you how to play poker like a pro. What you will learn in this course are the fundamentals, the ABC of poker condensed into 21 short and easily digestible lectures. In each lecture, you will learn a different concept which you can test out and practice immediately after watching. Well, do you want to become a good poker player? Do you want to be able to beat recreational players easily? Do you want to have a great time winning at your local home games? Great! Get this course now and start winning at poker.